What's going on, Wolfpack fam? It's your boy Kid. We back at it again. Hope everyone is doing great. Can't believe we're at this stage right now on the Ricky Gervais Show. This is episode 13 of season 1, titled Freaks. Now, I'm personally hoping that it's the good version of Freaks as opposed to, like, I don't know, like some stalker type freak type shit. But hoping it's the good kind of freaks, guys. So let's get to it. Hope you guys are doing good. So let's go, boys and girls.
Questions for Karl, just to sort of try and tap into his brain, see what's going on there.
Yeah.
The questionnaire that is often featured at the end of the TV programme Inside the Actor's Studio. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Here's the bacon.
Is that how it works?
Oh. No, what do you mean? What's the question?
Well, I don't...
He always got to ask a question. He's always got to answer a question with a question.
I don't know, do you hear so many other things that you have to go through other gates? I can't imagine him being on the door, is what I'm saying. If he owns a place, what's he doing there?
Just a question, boy.
It's St. Peter, isn't it, who's normally minding the gates, famously.
Right, so it's him asking me.
Okay, well, let's say it's St. Peter.
No. You go through the gate. Peter goes, you're expected. He's got an appointment. We're going through to God. Go through a few doors. Go up top floor, right past the executive washroom, into his big office. Okay,
God.
that overlooks the universe.
So what?
So you've gone in to see God. It's an audience with God. You've died. You've gone to heaven. And what would you like God to say to you at that point?
Probably just say, you've done well and that in your life. You never did anybody any harm. So, welcome to heaven. Any problems, give us a shout.
Got that ponytail, baby.
Here's a little layout of like a little map. It's kind of like...
I love this. This is a
very
great answer.
elaborate.
And my favourite one is you never did anyone any harm. That's great. That's a brilliant thing for God to say.
Yeah.
So hang on, he's giving you a little map.
So he's got a little map of the area.
Map,
It's
and
big.
he'll sort of say, this is where you go for this is where you go for that. I'd probably ask him about the ghost situation. I'd say, am I now a ghost then? Or is this just like another planet that I've come onto?
Right.
I don't know if he'd answer that.
God, it's towering.
I don't know if he'd be sort of a bit
cagey.
Yeah, a little bit like, well, I don't want to panic you and stuff. I'd say, right, is it right that I can see past family and that? Because to be honest, I'd probably prefer to stay away.
For me, personally, the first thing, if God was asking me a question at the pearly gates, it would be, you want bacon? You want to be introduced to where all the bacon is at or where all the ladies is at? One of the two for me, personally. I want to know what you guys would want to be asked. The very first question you would be asked by God at the pearly gates, okay?
He doesn't even want to.
No, but because the thing is, if you've done
amazing.
I've done all that in this life, so it's about moving on to another life and meeting different people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's the point? It's just like the same all over again, but everywhere's white. I mean, I don't know if it is like
Do you think God would like this podcast?
Well, I suppose it just kills half an hour, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but time's not a problem for him, is it?
Yeah, it is, because he lives for ages, so he needs loads of filler. I bet he's, doing stuff that he's just like, I'm not really into this, but it's something to do, isn't it?
Sudoku and stuff.
But I think there'll be just as many problems up there as there is here, because at least people are leaving here, whereas up there, that's the thing that I'd be worried about the most, actually, that it's really crowded. Because it's years and years of dead people, isn't it?
Jeez.
London does me head in.
You've been
Up there,
wondering
it's
some
gonna be
weird questions and stuff.
well busier than that.
This is Times Square?
What about teenagers? And do you feel that life was better in, say, the 1950s?
I don't know, I wasn't around. So
but you understand what it was like in those days? You've seen Happy Days.
I don't know, people always say, don't they? Old people always say, it's a better life in the 50s. It's like, yeah, it was.
Oh, that would have been so cool to be around that part.
Being old isn't great, is it? So you're just happy with your lot. I suppose I was happy.
What? You want fries with that? Huh?
You're starting about...
I don't want to be old, man.
Right, specific year.
Why? Why was that?
It's just I was free and happy. Do you know what I mean?
How old were you?
I don't know. 22...
He's just counting on his fingers now.
12.
Right, okay.
And it was just good.
So the happiest days of your life were between the age of 12 and 13?
Yeah, it was good. I had the world ahead of me.
Little did you know your hair was going to fall out and you were going to whinge every minute of the day.
I had my bike. I like messing about my bike. You had your mates. I had a pet magpie.
So you were probably the teenager that you eventually
Gangsta,
hated.
baby.
Probably.
Were you a good lad, law-abiding?
I wasn't bad. I just sort of, just
Yeah,
potted
law-abiding
about.
citizen.
I mean, when people talk about what was on the telly back then, I don't have that much memory of it because I was always out. I was always playing out.
What were you doing when you were out?
Just playing about, just like on a bike or...
Just riding in a circle endlessly
Tell
through
ya.
blizzard.
And I used to be outside all freaking day and wouldn't come back till very late. Again, I had an older sister, I had a lot of friends in the community and stuff like that. Played more outside than definitely watching a lot of telly. We, got to watch, cartoons and all that crap, but more outdoors. I was way more active in my younger days. That's one thing I definitely miss more. Now, you're watching Netflix and all this bullshit, a lot of video games, a lot. So I've lost that outside thing, playing sports. I miss that.
Loved it.
Rain, sleet,
Loved it.
hail.
I'd be out there all
I
night.
was always, when everyone always goes, where were you when Band-Aid was happening? I was always out on my bike. And everything was
Like you and McGregor.
a memory's always sort of like coming in for some orange and looking at the telly and seeing Princess Diana's getting married, and my mum says, have you seen this? And I'm going, oh, I'm going out on my bike. I was always doing that. The only time I was in the house...
Gangster.
This is why you don't know anything, because you never stopped.
Yeah, but this is what being a kid's about.
But
That's
all
what I
the
mean, being
information
free.
you have, Carl, is as though you've gleaned it as you raced by on a bike.
I guess
It's
I'm
almost
similar
like,
to
every
Carl
piece of
then.
information you have.
Your hair blowing in the wind. Carl, your hair will blow out one day. Oh, don't talk stupid, ma'am.
was easy. So yeah, 12 to 13 was good.
Nice being a
But you
kid.
see,
And it was all downhill from then, was it?
13, you're a teenager then, aren't you? Life got tough.
Yeah. How did it get tough?
Just straight away when I was 13, my mum was like, oh, it's your 13th birthday, you're a teenager now.
Right.
And she gave us a quid to go and get a cake to celebrate it. Went to the
Okay.
supermarket.
Get
got
your
a
own
and
cake,
I just thought,
sucker.
I don't like the look of this. Don't like the look of the way the future is here.
Looks miserable. Get your own cake, son.
What did you see at the supermarket?
It was kind of like, I don't know, I suddenly felt grown up. I didn't like it.
But I think you were always about 58, really, with your outlook.
Well, yeah, my mum always said I was old. She said I was an old baby. She said I could frown before I could walk.
Look at that face. Are you guys a fan of birthdays? As I've gotten older, I care less and less of my birthdays. And when we hit around the age that Carl was talking about, really kind of stopped having birthday parties and stuff for myself. And all my other cousins will still have parties, but I wouldn't really get a lot of parties. So I became very, I guess sad around birthdays and stuff like that. Still had good birthdays, but around that age, very sad, very sad. I was like,
So they always had a bit of a worry look on my face. Didn't
What
say much,
present?
just always listened. My eyes moved about more than I did. Just sat there looking around,
sad baby.
looking stressed.
My eyes moved about more than I did. Oh dear, couldn't walk. Well, I can't walk, but I'll try and get a bit of movement in my face. It's a workout, a baby workout. Oh, babies, well, if you can't walk, what about your face? Let your face do the walking.
It sounds like that horror film. It sounds like Pilkington's Baby.
Yeah.
Just you lying there in your cot.
I didn't like all the stuff that's set up for you. Like, my mum tried to send me to, like, a nursery. I said, no, I'm not having
Like
this.
daycare.
I said, when I'm older and I've got to go, I'll go, but
off.
let's leave out this bit. And she said, all right. She was...
I love the fact he could reason with her. I love him. He's 3 years old with a pipe. She's going,
Oh,
you're
he got slapped.
I think not, Mum.
I mean, kids don't play out, do they? Kids, parents are scared to let the kids play out, and that's why the streets are dangerous now, because no one's playing out on the streets. Whereas when I was a kid, everyone was out on the streets. The streets were safer because there was more people knocking about.
Right.
Let the kids play out.
It must be like a constant, like a Larry painting. His front garden. Do you know what I mean? Just loads
There
of
was
people
stuff
just
going- there was
walking
never any
around.
problems. I was sort of taken away by some fella.
What?
Who,
Hang on a
Whoa,
minute.
whoa, whoa,
Whoa,
whoa.
whoa,
it was in-
whoa,
it was
whoa. Taken away by a fella. Oh?
playing about in the garden.
Yeah.
But my dad's mate, Tony,
Yeah.
he did tiling with him. He drove past. And he saw
This
me
don't
looking a
look
bit fed up,
good.
So he just leant over, picked me up, took me to the pub. Now, the thing is, there wasn't panic. People weren't going, oh, God, where's Carl gone?
He's out.
Just
How old were you?
He's taking the
He's
pub.
got kidnapped.
He's 40 years
Got
old.
kidnapped.
Well, he's only having a...
He's down the pub with Tony, probably playing darts.
Oh, shit.
I was about 3 or 4.
That's a
Sorry,
horror
some
scene.
bloke drives by who happens to be a friend of your dad's, thinks that baby looks grumpy.
Yeah.
I'm taking him down to
But
the pub.
that's what it was
Tony,
like.
you bringing a baby to the pub? Yeah,
good,
might do, yeah,
guys.
we're bringing ours. All right, see you later, mate.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Whereas now they go, the baby's gone. There's a big full-on panic going
Yeah,
on.
but I think it says more
I
about your
would've been
parents.
panicked.
They didn't do that. They looked out the back car and you were gone. Some bloke's driving off off in a van. They're just going, oh,
Yoink.
go down the pub. Doesn't Princess Diana look lovely? This is absurd. So what happened when you got down the pub?
I just was there for a bit, and then
For a bit, just had a game of pool.
then my dad came in. It was like, oh, there you are.
Oh, there you are!
Perry didn't give a shit. There he is. He didn't give a shit.
I love that. Where's my baby? I'm just gonna have a quick pint. Oh, there you are. All right, mate.
So, yeah, I think things were better back then.
Well, it's that time again.
It's Karls Diary.
Let's go.
Oh, what's he written today?
Told Suzanne that I had read that we will have spoken to aliens by the year 2025. Ricky once told me that if a lion could
Getting
speak
close.
English, it still couldn't have a good chat with us because its life is different to ours. If that's true, we've got no chance with an alien. I'd be worried that an alien could read my mind. I had that problem once years ago when I worked in a studio making cassettes. Some mind-reading woman was having some cassettes made. She waited while I did them. She had a small dog. I knew she was trying to read my mind, so I just thought about the dog. I thought that would confuse her, because she wouldn't understand why I was thinking about her dog.
That's amazing.
So, firstly, how did you know she was a mind-reading woman?
Everybody who came in having cassettes done, you'd find out about what the job is. So, you know, if it's a band or whatever, it might be a police station needing blank cassettes to interview people.
Yeah.
And she had them to sort of use during a thing where they do mind reading and stuff. So
Right.
you get a
recording
of
of
it.
Yep.
And she was just there and she was staring at me.
She looked creepy as shit.
And a dog was sort of looking worried, and they pick up vibes, don't they?
No.
They do.
And why was
Were they looking? I'm not being funny. Were they looking at the roundness of your head? Do you
They
think?
were just looking at me, and I was sort of panicking a bit. And the more that I was thinking she's reading my mind, I was thinking she knows that I know that she's reading my mind. So I just stopped thinking about her reading my mind, thought about the dog
What were you thinking about the dog?
running about on the beach.
He remembers what he was thinking.
No, just so she thought, oh, hang on a minute, it's not his mind, it's the dog's mind I'm picking up.
Trying to fool this chick.
So you thought she'd go? Oh no, I'm getting it all tangled up. I've got a cross line here.
I met up with my mate Laurie. He said he was in a pub at the weekend and saw a bloke whose hands were on the wrong arms.
Reverse shit.
What do you mean?
Oh
Well,
shit.
He had his left hand on his right arm and the right
That'd
hand
be
on the
weird.
left arm. I don't think this would be a problem if he's been like that from an early age. When I was in Ripley's in LA, I saw a bloke whose head was on back to front.
That's more annoying, isn't it, than your hands?
Jeez.
Isn't it?
Now then, would you walk? How would you walk? Would you be walking backwards, Carl, so that you could walk? So you're basically walking forwards.
I reckon I'd
or
walk
would-
sideways so nobody would sort of tell the difference. It just looked like...
That's all I'd be like laughing. I'm sorry.
Oh God!
I'd be
he
laughing.
solved it again. He's thought it through. Ah.
He always got an
home and read
answer.
the magazine. There was a story about a baby that was born that looked like a frog. What magazine's this?
that made the news. That was in a proper newspaper.
It's always in the newspaper. I ain't hear this shit.
Really have a neck or top half of its head. It would look
Jesus.
all right if it always wore a scarf and a hat. The
Looks
world
like a
would be a more
fisherman.
interesting place if there were loads of different types of humans like there are creatures. Then some people would be good at certain jobs. Spider people, ant people, builders, cockroach people, dustbin men.
It's eating a burger.
Good idea, isn't it?
I mean, I mean,
Cockroach men, spider men, what are you talking about?
Look at some insects, right?
Yeah.
They don't have machinery, yet they're getting by, aren't they? They have their lives like we do. They get up, they wander about, they collect food, they tidy up, they fix stuff, they make their own house. We can't do any of that. So what I'm saying is, why aren't we using them? Why are these cockroaches with all these powers and stuff
Powers?
going about?
The mutants?
But how could we use them? How could we harness them?
Just told you, dustbin men. Or,
Yes.
or whatever that
No,
what do
you
you mean?
said that if they were also men, if they were cockroach men, we
Where's
could
the?
use
Where's
them.
the? You've left a big bit out, but when that 1-inch cockroach becomes a 6-foot bloke wearing a jacket,
That's
Just
the
that
word
we always
scum.
use insects for like a bit of fun. You see flea circuses and all that, which is all very well, but I don't think it's getting the most out of them.
So he wants to get more out of cockroaches, make them do more work.
Woke up at 9:55
He
a.m.
just-
As
he
soon as I
just
woke up, I looked at
abandoned it.
Suzanne and she looked at me. I said, "Did I tell you about the immune system?"
Damn, look at his laugh. I love it.
Suzanne started laughing. I said, "It's amazing." She said, "Not now."
She didn't want to hear his shit. Suzanne's gangster.
Oh God! I was thinking that.
Springing into action, he zips up, his eyes are like.
Like, peace.
Did I tell you about the immune system? Oh, shut up, Carl. Put the kettle on.
Oh, God.
Just shut your mouth.
Oh, fucking hell. Carl,
wife is gangster.
let's give him a list. Top 5 something. What are you interested in? Are you interested in news, sport, TV, cars, movies, style?
I mean, I'm into weird stuff, but it seems a bit tight to stick them in a list.
What, like what?
Well, like, sort of freaky people and that. I've got that freak book. But I don't know if they'd be happy if I call one of them
Famous
good news.
freaks.
You're at number 1 because you've got 4 legs or whatever.
Jesus,
I don't
I'm
know.
a freak.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay, then this is the Carl Pilkington top 5 freaks in a number 5.
Probably something not too good at number 5, but it's still interesting. Lighthouse Man.
Who's that? What's Lighthouse Man?
Lighthouse
What's Lighthouse
Man?
Man?
It's a fella with a hole in his head. And what he does, rather than moan about it, sticks a candle in it.
Shut up. What are you talking about?
Sticks a candle
What
in
are you
it.
talking about? Where is the hole?
he didn't call himself Lighthouse Man, did he?
Well, I don't know. It's just what he got nicknamed because he had this hole. Doctors were like, "There's nothing we can do. Can't fill it." Thought, what can I do with it? And it was of the days when there was no electric and that. You had to walk about with a candle. So, hang on a minute.
I can have both
Got a
hands
little
for
candle
you.
holder in. Stuck a
Put
candle
that
in
shit
it.
on
And he just
top.
got
Oh
nicknamed the
my
Lighthouse
God.
Man.
Jesus.
So again, it's not that amazing, but I like the way he was sort of energy efficient.
Thought he would be Candleman then, no?
So was it in his forehead?
No, on the very top of his head.
That's perfect. You don't want it in the forehead, Steve. You'd have to walk back with
That'd
your
be
neck
ridiculous.
cricked.
So he was like a kind of human jack-o'-lantern.
He's a Lighthouse Man. What is it, Steve? What
Sorry, mate. Yeah, I
better
forgot.
description have you
Lighthouse,
done than
damn it.
Lighthouse Man?
So yeah, he's
call him
probably at
Candle.
number 5.
Wow, that's at number 5, Steve.
Number 4.
What about
It's not
Big Face
better.
Woman of Manchester Square?
Hey, face woman of
Again,
Manchester
you're getting what it says in the tin there, aren't you?
Right.
Somebody
It's
look
just
like
this
that?
woman who had a face like a pig.
Jesus.
The rumour was
Yeah.
that it wasn't a woman. Someone said it was a pet bear and they'd shaved it. That's what. That's what
Was
I've
this
heard
someone?
since.
Was this someone you saw? Or
No,
did you
no.
just read about
This is going back.
This is
This
years
is
ago.
this
Read
is
it on the
years and
news.
years ago.
Yeah.
When there was loads of like weird looking people. I mean, the fact that it's Pig-Faced Woman of Manchester Square
Yeah.
says that there might have been one in
Piccadilly
places,
Circus?
yeah, whatever. So there was a lot more of them knocking about back then.
Let's assume that it was a woman, and the first one, the Lighthouse fellow, he's a
He dissed
human.
her.
Do you think people would object because of their disfigurement, deformity, a bit like being called freaks? Do you think?
Yeah, I don't think
Well,
they would
it
like
gave them
that.
a purpose back then. See, if you were a freak years ago, there was work for you. You'd have these
Go to the
circus
carnival or
things.
some shit.
Now, if you've got a funny head, you're on the dole.
Number 3.
Unemployment.
What about Elephant Man?
Right.
Stick him at
Elephant
number
Man.
3. He's
Number 3.
He's surely the most famous freak ever to have lived, isn't he?
he's the one who got me into it.
Right. Yeah, sure. He's sort of entry level.
Sad, I've never heard of these things.
Gateway freak.
Everyone is aware of him.
If the Elephant Man still existed, right, and you got the opportunity to meet him, and you walked in, a couple of questions. 1, what would your first reaction be? And 2, what would you say to him? What would your first question be?
Good question.
How would I react? Well, I've sort of seen him enough now that it wouldn't shock me. So I don't even think I'd flinch.
Okay.
I mean, like
okay.
I said, when I first saw you, that was a bit weird. But now, look, I can look at you. I don't double take or anything.
Damn, Carl just shit on him. Nice, bro.
What
Oh,
would I say to
shit.
him, though? I'd probably say, where do you get that hat to fit you?
Yeah, that's
You always
good.
had that on.
Love
Where do
it.
you get that from?
Nice hat, man. That was good.
That sort of flat cap that he's got.
Yeah, that one, didn't he? So yeah,
Similar to my shit.
He's at number 3.
Like these army
Elephant Man,
canvas
number
hats,
3. I
some
can't
shit.
wait for 2 and
Yeah.
1. Right, okay, number
Well, I know
2.
what my number 1 is. It's just number 2 now. I don't know his name, but there's a fella knocking about. Well, I don't think he's around anymore. But he had like a normal body. Looking at him, you'd go, "What's up with him? He's not a freak." Takes his undies off. Got 2 knobs.
Yeah, 2 knobs?
Wow.
Man with 2 knobs.
Oh, he doesn't know
Okay,
where to
okay.
start.
I
Do you
don't
think
know.
he uses them alternately, like have a wee out of this one, have a wee out of that one, or does he just like spread the load so he's weeing out of both?
I don't think he knows.
What
I
do you mean
think it's
he doesn't
sort of
know?
like a lucky dip.
He chooses
When he
which
goes
one.
to a urinal,
Yeah.
he can have a little bet with himself. He's just
Urinal.
like, I don't know what's going to happen here.
So do you reckon he holds them
Holds
both
them
out?
definitely.
So he takes his trousers down because I mean, you know.
Yeah, you can't use a Y front.
He wants to
Right,
show
yeah.
off.
Need more like a W front.
Yeah. So he pops his pecs down there.
I don't think it's that much of a problem. It's not like
Wow.
Which one is
I'd
it going to
prefer
come
that
out
than
of?
Elephant Man's head.
Well, of course you would.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
What if you had Elephant Man's knob?
Yeah, but it didn't work like that, did it? That's the thing. They said he had the body of an elephant, but that's the only thing that wasn't of an elephant standard. His knob was normal. Whereas with this fella, it's the other way around. Everything normal. Took the pants off. Oh, well, what's going on here?
Got 2 cocks,
But
man.
why would you ever take his pants off?
No, I wouldn't. I'm just saying. If,
But why, I don't know why you'd be in a situation with this man with 2 knobs standing there with his pants on, and you go pop your pants off.
Hey, he might be having
You're
a
not a
threesome.
doctor.
no, I say if I'm waiting in a cubicle and he's there.
For what?
Sorry, you're
I'm
waiting in the
waiting to
cubicle
have,
when
I'm
he
waiting
comes
to
in.
have, I'm waiting to have a wee at a cubicle. He's
Oh, in the
taking 2
toilet.
urinals up and going,
Right.
hang on, you
He's
don't need them
taking
both,
2
do you? He goes, well,
spots.
actually,
Oh, and then
look at this.
right.
He said, look at this.
He's got 2 knobs.
See, I didn't see him at 2 urinals. I saw him at 1, maybe them pointing inwards.
If you had that, and say the first time that you met Suzanne, would you mention that straight up?
Would you say, right, before this goes any further, I've got something to show you?
I got
Well,
2
let's see,
cocks.
tell me exactly what you would say.
You had normal head then, didn't you?
I had the same head, yeah.
Yeah, but it had, like, hair coming out of it, didn't it? And sort
Yeah,
of like...
yeah, but she also had a smaller arse back then as well, so I think they both been
Smaller
done.
ass.
Anyway, we need to get to number 1.
Yeah, let's see
Yeah,
the number 1.
Okay, it is.
It's Pillow Man.
All right, Pillow Man. Before when this finishes, and I want to know out of the 5 on this list, which one's the funniest? For me right now, it's definitely number 2. The only thing I would have kind of liked if he was naming people, if there was actual people he thought were on the freaks list, that would have made it more funnier. But Man with 2 Knobs, hands down, funniest one out of this shit.
Oh, yeah.
Pillow Man. Okay, now explain for those that don't know who
Let's
he
hear
was.
Pillow Man.
He's a fella with
I didn't know any of this
no
shit.
arms and legs, just a head and a little body. Nickname Pillow Man.
Well, why is he your favourite?
Just because he's amazing. Just the way he just got on with his life. He used to light a cig, just using his lips and his tongue and that.
Oh, I've
And
seen
not
this. It's
fully lit. He'd buy like Roll Your Own.
Yeah, it's in the film Freaks, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he
He had a
rolls
shave
it.
as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
How did he
Do you
have a
think
shave?
he used to do it? He used to get it in his mouth, and I don't know.
Damn, I
It's
gotta look these
amazing.
shits up.
Did he have a knob?
I think he did because he had some kids.
What?
Yeah, he had kids.
Yeah, kids?
He was an all right looking fella. He wasn't odd looking. It's just that
sorry?
He, had no, he looked like Samuel L. Jackson. Imagine it.
You look like Sam Jackson. Oh shit, some motherfucker.
Him with no arms and legs.
Right, that's
Oh,
odd, though, isn't
shit.
it?
It's weird,
Oh, shit.
but you've got to give it to him. You know, I mean, he's there rolling his own. He's pretty cool looking.
I just want to say to people, it's no. You say it looks cool, to, with no arms, no legs to smoke, but don't forget that smoking can stunt your growth.
Yeah.
Leonard scratching his head.
Yeah, remember, he was on like this circus freak show thing with
Yeah.
like a bearded woman,
Yeah.
right?
I've seen that. I've seen a bearded woman.
Which isn't really a freak, is it? She could have had a shave. Have a shave, you're not a freak anymore.
Yeah.
Bearded woman. Compared to a fella who's got no arms and legs, a bearded woman, you're get out. But there was like a fella with no bottom half to his body called
shit.
Johnny Eck, was his name.
Oh shit, he's killing me.
So, when you're knocking about with that crowd, you're going to get a bit.
Get away, freak! Shake your shit, lady!
You're going to get a bit. So, yeah, he had kids and they were all normal kids. They had all the limbs.
Did his
and
wife
everything.
Disneyland.
Never saw his wife.
Never saw his wife.
I think
He was
he's...
probably ashamed of her. She was a bit of a freak.
He
For someone
reproduced asexually.
like him, you'd think he'd just give up, wouldn't you? You think, forget it. What sort of life is it? I'm like a Mexican jumping bean. It's not worth living. But he just got on with it. To have a shave, I don't even bother having a shave some days.
No. Nor did the bearded
I
lady.
hate shaving
Lazy
every
fucking
time.
bitch.
So that's why I've put him at my number 1 position.
Okay.
It's just amazing, isn't it? The human. How whatever you dealt, some people just get on with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Pillow Man, or Draft Excluder, as I prefer to call him.
There you go. Oh.
It makes me want a
Now,
coffee
me and
bad.
Steve are a couple of big shots. We do this for a laugh, but this is Carl Pilkington's only source of income. This is what you do now, isn't it?
This is my full-time job. Yeah,
What do you think of that? Is
it
this
depresses me.
Why?
This isn't what I ever wanted.
This is not what I wanted.
Because I haven't got a purpose, have I? I'm sat here talking about the Pillow Man. If it weren't for him, I'd have nothing to say. It just depresses me. That I just wish I had a job where I felt like I was needed. and I don't.
I
feel
wonder if a
needed.
lot of people
It's not a
do
proper
think
job.
that.
We need you. We
No, I
need
know,
you. We
but-
need
We
you for
love
money
you,
for a
Carl.
run.
I know, but this isn't. I wanted something that, you know, when you die and that, it's, you know, you get up to the gates, whatever, and they say, "What have you done?" And then I'm looking worried, thinking, "Is the Pillar Man about?"
Oh man, another solid episode. This episode is so good. Best part for me had to be with Baby Carl getting yoinked out of the car. The top 5 list of freaks. Number 2 is my favorite. Which one out of the 5 would be your favorite? And then with him telling the bearded woman, "Get the hell out of here. You're not a freaking freak." Solid episode. Carl kills me. He sometimes always got a question when they ask him stuff, especially when he was asking with the pearly gate. He always got a question for a question and stuff. I got a lot of people that do that. That's so freaking funny. This episode was really good, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Answer some of the questions that we asked you guys. Hopefully some of you guys will leave some comments below telling me what you guys thought on it and which top 5 freak, and would you have changed that list anyway, or Carl's list is pretty spot on for you guys. Let me know. I love you guys. Thanks for being around in the journey, guys. I just want to thank you guys for all the likes, the subscriptions, guys. We're creeping up to the 2K freaking mark, guys, and that's all thanks to you guys. So if you haven't followed the channel, I appreciate a follow. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. More content always headed your way, guys. And you know, just enjoy the journey with you guys. You guys are what makes it so special. We're gonna keep on chunking out these content, guys. So we'll see you soon. Peace and love. Love you guys. Peace.